Ken Summers here with Suns insider Dwayne Rankin at the Suns draft party. Not much of a party, you can't talk about it. They pulled off 2 trades today, traded TJ Warren, traded down in the draft, but interesting, they can't talk about it because trades can't officially be executed until July 6th, but we can talk about it. What'd you think?
Well, first, and just to expand on that, it's because there's another player involved. If it was pick for pick, like last year, Mikal Bridges, then they could talk about it. But because another player is involved, you've got Saric, who's coming from Minnesota with that pick that they traded those picks, and then Warren being obviously a player outside of a draft pick. That's why they can't discuss it. But it's really something that I've never experienced before. I've never seen anything like this where you can't, where you know, they were saying that James Jones could come down, but all he could say would be, I can't talk. But if you want to talk about who they drafted, we want to talk about that. Cameron Johnson, this is a very interesting pick. This is a stretch, in my opinion. He wasn't invited to New York, which tells you that they didn't think he was going to be a lottery pick. He shoots 45% from 3, yes, he's 6'10", but I see him as a development player. I don't see him someone that's going to come in right away and produce and help them win games, especially if they go out in free agency and do what you described, getting that power forward and getting the point guard. If they do that, Cameron Johnson's a development player. If they don't, we got something else going on here.
Because I like the other 2 moves they made today. You know, I thought it was they had to move TJ Warren, create some cap space. You know, I think Suns fans have to hope that that's the first move in a series of moves, like you said. That gives them the space maybe to re-sign Kelly Oubre for a long term and to go get a veteran point guard. They didn't get anything back. Right. Except some cash, and we don't know how much cash.
Right, you can get cash back, but I mean, they got cash. Robert Sarver has cash. Cash is not his problem. I thought they would have gotten a player. Even though Warren is injury prone, the guy can play.
Let's talk about the player they did get. I mean, they did fill a power forward spot, right, in the trade with the Timberwolves.
They did. Saric is a stretch 4. He can shoot the 3. He was very productive with Philadelphia when they had that lineup with Embiid and Simmons, and he got traded to Minnesota with the Jimmy Butler deal. So can Saric play? Yes. Looking at what they got now, he'll probably start at the 4, but they probably can get better in free agency at that position, and of course they got to get a point guard. That's priority number 1.
And in fairness, James Jones has said that's a preferable way to get better. He's sort of tired of the development guys every year, and I think Suns fans are probably tired of that too.
No question. I mean, he said that he wants players, not prospects. Trading that 32nd pick, that would have been a prospect. So they got rid of that, but again, the pick that they made, that's a stretch. I'm sorry. I mean, he can shoot it now. I mean, 45% is 45%. At that height, he's like 6'8". He measured out at the combine. So he can still shoot it, but he wasn't even a lottery consideration.
We'll have a lot more analysis in the paper on the website. What you will not hear from are the Suns or their draft pick. That won't happen until after July 6th. They had a press conference scheduled Monday for the new draft pick, but
right, that got canceled. They came in and told us that that's not going to happen. So we went from thinking we would at least talk to James Jones at the least to getting nothing, and we may not getting nothing until July 6th.
That means Dwayne's off till July 6th. So no, just kidding. Thanks for joining us.